Hello everyone, hope you all are doing very good. So let's understand today's POTD. So today's GFG POTD is about arrange consonants and vowels. Now let's see how to solve this problem. So the question is very simple. It has asked us to arrange the linked list in such a way so that the vowels comes before the consonant in the linked list and it should maintain the order of arrival. So what does this mean? If A is arriving first in our input linked list, it should arrive first in our output linked list also. Similarly, after A, the vowel that is coming after A is E. So it should also appear in our output linked list. E should appear after A. Similarly for I is appearing after E in our input linked list. So it should also appear after E in our output linked list. This case also appears for our consonant. It should maintain the order of arrival. Now let's see what is the approach. So we will use a very simple and understandable method to solve this problem. The solution that comes to my mind right now is that can we create a separate linked list, two separate linked lists, one for vowel and another linked list for consonants, and then concatenate both the linked lists in such a way so that the vowel linked list, the linked list that contains the vowels appears first and the linked list that contains the consonant appears after the vowel linked list. So it can be done by concatenating both the linked lists. Fine. So let's start solving with this approach. So to solve this, we will require a pointer called temp, which will be pointing to the first node, to the head node, and my head node is pointing to this node. So this will be used to traverse this whole linked list, And another thing that we will be requiring is two dummy nodes, one dummy node for our vowel list, and another dummy node for our consonant list. So these dummy nodes will be acting as the starting point for building the list of vowels, and for building the list of consonant, V dummy will be acting as the starting point for building the list of vowels, and C dummy will be acting as the starting point for building the list of consonant. Similarly, we will assign two more variables called VCur and CCur. We will initialize with the same address as that of V dummy and C dummy. So what does these two pointers do now? This will keep track of the vowel list, allowing new vowel nodes to be added efficiently, and this seeker will keep track of the consonant list, allowing new consonant nodes to be added efficiently. Now what? This temp pointer will start the traversal from this node. It will move forward until and unless we reach the null node. So now my temp is pointing to this node, that is A. Is A vowel or a consonant? It is a vowel. So append this node A to your weaker and move this weaker forward. So it will now point to A. It was earlier pointing to V dummy. If we move this forward, it will now point to A. Now move this temp forward. It is now pointing to B. Fine. Is B my vowel or a consonant? It is a consonant. So add this B to our consonant list. My seeker is now pointing to C dummy. Move this seeker forward. It is now pointing to B. Fine. Again, move this temp forward. It is now pointing to C. Is C a consonant or a vowel? It is a consonant. Add this to our consonant list. Similarly, move forward this seeker, point to this C. Move this temp forward. It is now pointing to D. Is D a consonant or a vowel? It is a consonant. Add this D to our consonant list. Move this seeker forward. It is now pointing to D. Move this temp forward. It is now pointing to E. Is E a consonant or a vowel? It is a vowel. So add this to our vowel list, and move this weaker 2 forward. It is now pointing to E. Move this temp forward. It is now pointing to F. Is F a vowel or a consonant? It is a consonant. Add this F to our consonant list. Move this C curve forward. It was earlier pointing to D. It is now pointing to F. Move this temp forward. It will now point to G. Is G a consonant or a vowel? It is a consonant. Add this to our consonant list. Move this C curve forward. It will now point to G. Move this temp forward. It will now point to H. Is H a consonant or a vowel? It is a consonant. Add this to our consonant list. Move this C curve forward. Move this temp forward. Is I a vowel or a consonant? It is a vowel. You will add this now here to our vowel list. Earlier my V curve was pointing to E. Now move this V curve forward. It will now point to E. Fine. Move this temp forward. Okay, now we have reached the null pointer. So the traversal will now end here. Fine. Now what? We have separated this linked list into two linked lists. A linked list which contains vowels and a linked list which contains consonants. So now what? Now we need to concatenate these two linked lists. How to concatenate? This is the last node. This is my last node, and this is my first node. So if I do, my weaker is now pointing to this node. My I is looking like this. My V card is pointing to I. What can I do? My it is null. Can I make the V card next equals to, this is the starting point. After that it is B. The next is B. So C dummy. Next. What if I do this? My V card next will store the address of this C dummy next. What is this C dummy next? It is B. It will store the address of B. It will store the address of B. Fine. This has been concatenated. Now what? Our last node should point to null. The next pointer of our last node should point to null. So what to do now? We will make our C card. My C card is now pointing to H node, the node having data H. So I will make the C card next to null. Fine. Now let's start implementing the code. So we will check if is my linked list empty or do we have a single node in our linked list. If we have a single node, then whatever it is, either it will be a consonant or it will be a vowel, we can return that node. So return that node. It won't make any difference. Now, what next? We were using two dummy nodes. One was V dummy and one was C dummy for the consonant. The V dummy was acting as the starting point for building the list of vowels, and the C dummy is acting as the starting point for building the list of consonants. Now what? Initialize this V card to the address of V dummy. Similarly, for the consonants, we will use C card and we will initialize this C card with the address of C dummy. Now what? Start the traversal. While temp not equals to null, we will traverse the whole linked list. Is my temp data a vowel? If it is a vowel, what we will do? We will simply store the address of temp in our next and move our vcur to the next node. We were moving our vcur to this next. We were moving vcur to next. Again, we were moving this to next. Again, we were moving this to next. Similarly, we are doing it here. Now, this condition was for vowels. Similarly, we will use a similar condition for our consonants. Fine. So this will be C, seeker, seeker. So the same applies for seeker for keeping the track of the consonant list and allowing the new consonant nodes to be added efficiently. Now what? Move to the next node of our list. We were moving to the next node of this list. Moving forward. Fine. Now what? We have separated the list. After that what? We were concatenating. To concatenate, we were storing the address of the last node, the next address. We were updating the next address of the last node of our vowel list to the dummy node next, and seeker next was pointing to null. At last, what you will do? Simply return v dummy next. Let's compile and run now. Okay, temp was not declared. Okay, let's declare it here. Initialize to head. Fine. The compilation is completed. The output is correct. Now let's see what comes after submitting. So this is how we are concatenating here. So the problem has been solved successfully. Now let's end the video here. So do subscribe the